What is good, everyone? I kind of don't know what to do, so we're doing one of these. I haven't done one of these in 2 months. So let's begin. Welcome to The Real Questions, the show where we ask the real questions. On today's agenda, could Majin Buu make the ultimate surrogate mother? Now, for all of you who don't know what a surrogate is, we actually have the definition pulled up. Let me pull up the display capture. Here we go. So a surrogate is a substitute, especially a person deputizing for another in a specific role or office. Now we're not looking at that one right here. We're looking at the second definition. A woman who bears a child on behalf of another person in a couple, typically via artificial insemination or in vitro fertilization. So, of course, that is what we're looking at here. We're looking at whether or not Majin Buu could absorb the baby and take care of it for you, right? You trivialize the whole pregnancy process, right? Now, of course, there do come some problems with Majin Buu, since it's like he'd be hard to convince, of course, and would he do it? Would it be a good idea? But that's what we're trying to find out. So, let's jump in. What do we do here? You know what we could do? We could use Bulma as an example. So of course, Bulma already has her child, Bulla, right? But let's say, for example, Whis did not help out to speed up the process, right? Instead of doing that, they decide to use Buu, right? They said, hold on, maybe we could give him a second chance. He did absorb, Gotenks and Ultimate Gohan. But I mean, we look at Gotenks and Ultimate Gohan, they were perfectly fine, man. They were okay. They didn't die, right? They were okay. So what we do is we grab Bulla and we put her inside Buu, right? That way, we could just take care of her. That way, if Frieza decides to blow up the Earth again, they're okay because Buu can regenerate, right? So if Frieza blows up the Earth, everyone dies. Hold on, Buu's okay, and that's nothing a wish from Shenron can't fix. You know what I'm saying? So that is one part of it. Now, here comes a problem. Number one, convincing Buu to actually do it. Because Buu is sort of if he says no, that's kind of it. That's kind of it. You would need a ton of candy, right? Because obviously Buu loves candy. If you want to convince him, you give him sweets and chocolates and things like that. But that wouldn't really bode well for the baby now, would it? Because the thing is that it's I'm going to assume that you need to eat a bunch of stuff that you don't like. Let's say, there's a piece of broccoli right there. Man, I hate broccoli, but you're not doing it for your sake. You're right. You're doing it because the baby needs the nutrients. But Majin Buu, you could try and force him to eat broccoli, but if he says no, then that's basically it, right? That's basically it. So you give him a bunch of candy, and that's gonna go to the baby, right? So it's it won't. It won't end well. It won't get the right kind of nutrients. You know what I'm saying? It's all junk food. So that's a problem. So basically, it would almost be you can force yourself to eat vegetables, but if you're gonna force Buu to eat vegetables, then you might as well do it yourself. You might as well just do the pregnancy yourself because it saves you the hassle from arguing with Buu, right? Now obviously there are some logistical issues, how would the baby even get the nutrients from Buu, because he doesn't exactly have the facilities to have babies, right? But it's think about it this way: we're in a series where beings confused by dancing, they confused by earrings, right? So it's we're not exactly making sense here, are we? So yeah. Now here is the second half. Do you think Super Saiyan would help with pregnancy? Because on one hand, I'm thinking that okay, you're faster, you're stronger, you're tougher. When Goku lets his guard down, he can get destroyed by laser beams. He can get kind of bruised by guns. So it's in base form, there are some things that can touch you. There's some things that can cause some hurting, right? But in Super Saiyan, it's you're moving faster, you're tougher. Someone walks into you and whoa, you don't even budge, right? So it's like, what do you think? On the other hand, though, you're using more energy that you could just be saving by just doing nothing, right? But that's the question for another day. But what do you think? Would Boo make the ultimate surrogate mother? And does Super Saiyan help with pregnancy? But that does bring us to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Um, Give me some more ideas on the real questions, because maybe I'll start taking requests now. It's like my mind that there are some things that I want to say, but I don't know if YouTube would take so kindly to it. So that's the reason I'm not saying this. So it's like it's taken me months to think of things that could be interesting, but are also like safe enough that I won't get bad. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.